Okay, so I really had to make this video, and it's not going to be very pretty because of the angle and whatever, but I am going to Puerto Rico tomorrow, right? So I have very limited time, and because I'm going, okay, I always feel like I have to tell the whole story or else you won't really understand it. So I am going to Puerto Rico tomorrow, and the only way to get there is either to take the 345 Long Island Railroad to Penn Station and then arrive at the airport at around 5:30, and then stay there till 8:30, or I can take the 5:30 train, get there at 6, take the New Jersey Transit, and then get to the airport at 7 and only have an hour and a half to check in. I am a worrywart, so I'm probably going to take the 345 unless I miss it. Now, the same day, so it's today, right? So I was gonna try and get another job on TaskRabbit, right? Because I had 2 jobs today, and they were really awesome. I met some really great people. I was gonna take another job, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home because, you know, the $50 isn't worth it. But then I was like, but if I do 4 more tasks by the end of the month, which means that I have to do another one today and probably 3 or 4 on the 31st, because I arrive on the 30th, then I can get a bonus. But then the bonus is only $45, so I'm like, why would I bother? I was like, it's not even worth it, right? But then I'm like, the extra $50 I could make today plus the $50 of the bonus is $100. And then I'm like, you know what? I have better things coming. I don't know how I know, but I just know it, right? So I put my address in the GPS, and I'm like, okay, let me just go home. And then I see the route that it wants to take me, which is 34th Street, but I don't want to pay a toll. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just take the Williamsburg Bridge, because I'm already, you know, like on the west side, but like, you know, Soho, right? Soho? I think that's what it is. I don't know. But on the west side, right? So I'm like, you know what? Let me just go across Houston and I'll do that. But then I couldn't go the way that I wanted to go because the GP, you know, the streets don't allow you. So it told me to go down Bleecker. And then when I hit Bleecker and Houston, right? So I hit Bleecker and then I hit LaGuardia, and then I have to turn on LaGuardia to go to Houston. And if y'all know New York, that's great. And if you don't, whatever. So I just kept going straight, which is weird because the street that I was on just let me go all the way straight till I had to go. Then I had to make a right, and then I had to make a left, right? So when I go to make that right, everything's fine. But when I go to make the left, there's a guy on a bike. This is where the fate comes in. There's a guy on a bike, right? And he like stops because he thinks I'm gonna turn, but I stop because I think he's gonna go. And then we both look at each other, and it ends up being my manager at Uber, right? The one that I, you know, was the last person that I spoke to before I left. Okay. It's just weird. So I was like, and I looked at him, and then he looked at me, and he looked at me twice. He like did a double take because he knew that he knew me. And he saw I was wearing a TaskRabbit t-shirt, which is funny because I got the job for Uber because I did a task for them through TaskRabbit. Isn't this crazy? TaskRabbit. That's crazy, right? I never wear this shirt. I wear this shirt maybe like 9 or 10 times in 3 or 4 years. And today I just happened to put it on because I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to dirty any of my clothes, you know? And I really don't want to do laundry. So if I mount TVs and stuff like that, I'm going to get like the powder and the dust on my shirt. Like I really just don't even want to deal with it. So let me just use a TaskRabbit shirt. And plus it wasn't as nice as the other one. So I figured the other one, if they hire me to do like media things, because sometimes they hire me to like talk to the media, then I will use that shirt instead. And I also have a bunch of other shirts. So it was just interesting to me that I crossed paths with a guy that I haven't crossed paths with since October 7th, 2013. And the day after that, it changed my life, where I met this woman who gave me that heat on my body, who's going to be the spokesperson for my community center. I think it's all coming together. And I think that woman is going to be the spokesperson for my community center. And I think the universe is showing me, like, don't worry, because sometimes I worry, like, you know, maybe Uber was the best opportunity of my life, but it wasn't. And then this other lady that I worked with, I was like, maybe that was one of the best opportunities of my life. That was another thing. So I'm in the city and I do a task. TaskRabbit is supposed to be my life. And then the guy who gave me the free trip to Puerto Rico was like, come meet me. I have to give you the credit card, right? Because he got me a company credit card so I can pay for everything, the car rental and whatever. And I was like, okay. So then I met, you know, he came to where the task was, gave me all the paperwork, gave me the credit card. And then, you know, he was on a motorcycle and left. And I'm like thinking to myself, he looks really good, you know, but he always looks good because he's gorgeous. He looks like George Michael. He's amazing. And then I just felt like going to Washington Square Park. I haven't rollerbladed since I was young. And there's a lot more to this. So I haven't rollerbladed since I was young. And I'm like, I had rollerblades in my car because I took them that day. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go rollerblading to Washington Square Park. So I asked him if he wanted to go. He said he couldn't. So I'm like, fine. So I drove around, right? I found a parking spot, and I tell you not, the moment I parked the car, like I pulled into the spot, I see Rachel. And that is a girl that worked with the other woman that I thought was another great opportunity that I might have missed. And this happened first before I just saw Josh. Right now, like this moment, right now, I just saw Josh, like right now. But before that, I'm trying to find the coincidences. I had worked for this lady for 2 weeks, maybe a month and a half ago. And maybe 3 weeks after I stopped working there, maybe 4 weeks, I go to park my car and I see Rachel. Rachel looks at me, I look at her. We do a double take. We're like, oh wow, but we don't say anything to each other. And then she walks away. And I'm like, what are the chances in all of New York with millions of people that I find the parking spot, and the moment I park, there's somebody I know right in front of me. And right now, it's like, what are the chances that I turn and then we're both, like, if he kept riding his bike, I would have never noticed him. If I made the left, I never would have noticed him. But we both stopped for each other and we both looked at each other. I thought that was too much. Then, when I was working at another company, and I was still working there when I saw this, I had a suspicion that two people were together, right? And I knew it, but nobody ever confirmed it. So I'm driving into the city doing a job for the lady that I work with. And then I pull up to a light right when you get off the 34th Street Midtown Tunnel. That first light at 34th or 36th and, 3rd Avenue. And I look, I'm the first car or the second car, I can't remember. But I look to my left and right on the corner, I think I was the second car, I see the two of them. And she looks up at him and she's smiling and he kisses her and I'm like, I knew it. You know, so what are the chances in all of Manhattan? And they all lived in Long Island. They all lived in Long Island. So what are the chances in all, you know, so I'm like, okay, that was like a really weird coincidence with those 3 jobs. And those are the 3 jobs that I look back at my life and I'm like, you know what, those were great opportunities, Myra, that you missed out on for whatever reason. But you know what? I didn't miss out on it because I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to be doing the intimacy school, and the universe is showing me, you know, don't worry about those things. They're not missed opportunities. You know, they're just parts of your path. This is what you're supposed to be doing. This intimacy school, the Free My Vision project, and the Uplift the Homeless, that is what I'm meant to do, and that is what I'm going to do. And I know it, and I feel it, and it's something I've always felt. And then the whole point of this is I went online to look up, you know, what does it mean when you bump into somebody? And I found an article, right? And in the article, it says, right at the top, it says, hey, you know, there are no coincidences, and I wrote this article just for you. And I'm going to put the link of it below so you can see it. And it's like, and if you think there are coincidences, you know, I'm here to let you know that there aren't. You are exactly on your path. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You need to continue to have faith. The universe is doing what it needs to do. It pulled people out that it needed to pull out. You know, when one door closes, another one opens. And I like want to cry, you know, because I'm like, I knew it. I have faith, but I was a little, not lost or hesitant, but like not doubtful. But I was like, okay, I have faith in you. I believe this is what's supposed to happen, but like, come on already. Like, where's the clarity? Where's that aha moment? Where's that, like, you know, show me the money? So then right now I was just talking as if, because I do that sometimes, as if you know, like I was pretending that I was talking to Oprah. I love her. I can't help it. And she had asked me, what do you want? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? What do I want? What do I want financially? Or what do I want? Like, what is my mission? Or what do I personally want? Like, you know, because if it's what I want financially, it's I want to be the first Latina billionaires, self-made billionaires in the world. And I want to, and not in the world, in America, sorry. The first, oh, that's a light. The first Latina self-made billionaires in America, right? Because I'm talking to Oprah and she's like the first Black woman, right? And I'm like, but it doesn't mean that I have to, and I want it to be from my businesses and my effort, but it could also be from winning money because I took the risk of buying the ticket or entering the contest or whatever. So I, you know, or putting the money in the slot machine and, you know, not that I gamble, but I'm just saying, like, I don't mind if it's by chance that I win the money and then I invest it, and then people can see from my investments and the decisions I make how to multiply their money. Because I don't want to just be the first Latina, you know, self-made billionaires. I want to show people how I did it so that they can learn too, because my purpose in life is to help people. And if it means that I'm helping you change your familiar karma, you know, if I'm helping you change, you know, generations of your family, because now you're making money that's going to then help, and, you know, you buy property or build assets for your family that's going to give them an easier life, that's going to help you have confidence, that's going to help you feel good about yourself, that's going to help you, you know, in this part of your life. Like, if I can help you suffer less, which is like the whole point of this video, because that moment led me to this moment, which led me to make the video. If I could, and then when I said that to Oprah in my mind, you know, like, if I could help people suffer less in this lifetime, you know, like, if they don't have to, because I know sometimes we have to suffer to learn the lesson to get to the next part, then that's what I want to do, you know? That's what I want. That's what I want. I know that's what I want. And in the meantime, I hope that the universe rewards me with a partner that I've been thinking about. And I wrote my love list today because I was reading something about, like, if you write a love list, and Oprah, I think it was in that 10 things about Oprah that I liked on my, and I'll put it on here too, on my 10 things, you know, 10 success advice or success principles that Oprah recommends, part 2, right? And then I was watching that, and at the end of it, 9 or 10, they were talking about loveless and about people who made a list of all the things they wanted in a partner. And then after some time, you know, after they found their partner, they found the love list, and they were like, oh my gosh, this has, you know, like, everything that I wanted is in this one person. So I keep seeing everywhere I go Jay-Z in license plates and MJ. And I don't know if it means that Jay-Z is the end of what I thought and then MJ is the beginning, or if they have something to do with each other. I don't know who MJ is, but I know who Jay-Z is. And I see it all the time, and that's what makes it so hard for me to let go. But then I'm like, maybe I should let go, because then something better will come along. But I think that the key to everything, not the key, but I think one of the keys to me getting to my next class, my next part of my path has to do with somebody who has the initials MJ. And all the time I think like Michael Jackson. And I remember one time, I know, I don't care, I just meant to reach whoever it's meant to be, reach. I remember one time I was sitting there and I was sad, and the radio, cartoons, and movies talk to me, and TV shows. Like, I'll ask a question and then I'll turn on the radio or the TV, and the answer will be the first thing that comes on. And I was just like, I'm just so sad, I can't wait to meet the person I'm supposed to meet, and blah, blah, blah. So I turn on the radio, and Michael Jackson's You Are Not Alone comes on. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, you know. And then I see a license plate that comes by me that says 624, which is my birthday, MJ. And I'm like, 624, and Michael Jackson's on the radio right now. So I'm like, what? So I'm thinking to myself, I wouldn't be surprised if the person that ends up helping me ends up being affiliated or knows Michael Jackson. No, I'm kidding. No, but I think it has something to do with the letter is MJ, and I don't know what it means. But I've been getting a lot of epiphanies, a lot of messages, a lot of things. I used to go door-to-door sales selling certificates. And it's funny because one of the guys that was on our team sent me an email about the company that we had worked for before, and he sent it to all of us, to like the crew, right? And I've been thinking so much of my leader Christina, like like crazy. I keep seeing license plates that are like CZA, which for some reason reminds me of her, or CZ, like Christina Versosa, whatever. And I was like, I just can't stop thinking about her, and I really want to see her, and I want to reach out to her, but I don't want to reach out to her until I'm somewhat successful, because I feel like it's a long story. But I just keep thinking about her. So then this morning I'm like watching, this is all happening today, like but everything is linked to something that happened in the past. So this morning I'm watching a show. I don't know if it was a show or a video, but I just remember, oh, it was a show. Yeah, Tabitha Takes Over. And it was about a woman who had amassed 3 businesses, and one of them was failing, and she had opened up a restaurant with no experience of a restaurant, and she had opened up the other 2, but when she came here to America, she washed cars. She had a 2-month-old, and she walked in and asked everybody for a job, and one guy said, I'll give you a job. And she had a 2-month-old, and she started washing cars just to make money, right? And she was telling them, like, you know, and Tabitha wanted the staff to know what she went through to amass what she's amassed, and why she needs them to work harder, and, like, you know, to work towards the goal. And they're like, I just want you to understand where she's coming from. So they all washed the car, and then they, you know, the car that they washed was like a taco truck, and then they used the taco truck to, you know, have like a day out where they're promoting the business so people can come to the business. And she told the story, but when she told the story, she went more in depth and said, you know, I used to wash cars. And she's like, and I had my 2-month-old baby in the car while I was washing it, and they paid me $1 per car. And she's like, sorry, it's just, I feel things, you know, and it just broke my heart, because it's like, that's hard work, you know? And that's like people don't understand how hard people work to be the people that they're meant to be. And I can only imagine, and I believe that her reward was so big because of what she endured in the past. And I really think that that, you know, she's gonna continue to be rewarded, because she really is just trying to be a good person and help people. I mean, she was a little nasty to her staff, don't get me wrong, but we all go through that in times of stress, you know. That's why I forgive everybody for everything, because whatever you're going through at that point in your life is what you needed to go through, and it may have affected me negatively, but it's what you needed to go through so you can be the better person in the long run, you know. So then it made me think, like, I wish I could show, like, when I have my businesses and everything, I wish I could take everybody door to door, business to business, cold calling, like, do what I did, like, see where I came from, see how hard I worked for those 5 years, 6 hours a day, 12 to 14 days, you know, 12 to 14 hours a day, like, just busting my butt for a dream and fighting for it, not to get it, and feeling like a failure, and then just pushing and keep trying and failing, but moving forward little by little, you know. And I'm gonna make a video of, like, my journey so far so you can understand what I've been through. And then I was like, I wish my mother and my sister would spend one day doing what I did, and I could just see them breaking down and being like, I'm not doing this, and blah blah blah. And me just having that positive attitude, like, don't worry, we'll keep going. And it's like, you know, like, I just pictured myself going into a business, and as soon as I walked in, I'm like, hey, my name's Myra, this is my assistant, you know, Ash. And then they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, never mind, but if you see me on the street, say hi, you know. And then I would walk out, and then, like, you know, 2 doors later, you see somebody come out, and they're like, hey, what are you selling, you know? So that the person that said no came back, because when you leave people with a really positive attitude, they want to know more, and they feel bad, you know, and they want to be like, all right, fine, what do you got? And then showing my sister and my mom that through having an amazingly contagious positive attitude, you can change the world. Like, you can change people, you can bring out the best of people, you can do so much, you know. So then I thought to myself, why don't I just go business to business, create a certificate, and promote my business, the Intimacy School, and just be like, hey, we're doing a promotion for the Intimacy School. We have these types of classes. Pay for the promotion right now, and then you'll get, you know, normally 1 class is like this, and you'll get 2 or 3 classes for the price of 1. You could bring a friend, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I mean, I'm giving away a lot, but it's my business. I can afford to give it away. I'm going out there. I'm meeting the people. They're meeting me. I'm the owner. And look right now. Look right now.